Hello, this is Johnny. It's Thursday, November 9th. Another beautiful day here in Hawaii. You can feel a little bit of the seasons changing, a little bit of sharpness in the air, but it's still beautiful, as it always is. Uh, Today I'm making this short video. I'm actually leaving this afternoon to go to visit my oldest granddaughter, who just started college at the University of Oregon. It's hard to believe that she's that old, but time really has a way of going quickly with your family and your kids and your grandkids. Anyway, today I'd like to talk about a little bit about my philosophy of representing clients, both buyers and sellers. I probably have the most fun actually representing buyers, because a lot of the buyers I do represent are realizing their dream of owning a place here in Hawaii. And I've done, I don't know how many of them, but anyway, I've really enjoyed on the whole representing buyers. And lately sellers have been a whole lot more fun to represent, because the prices in Hawaii have basically skyrocketed, and most of them are making money. Throughout a large part of my career, that wasn't the case. But anyway, with respect to representing buyers, one of my favorite transactions is actually, I think it's the smallest I've ever done. And it was years ago. It was a short sale up in Waikoloa Village, and the buyers were a couple from upper New York State. And during that time, basically during the crash and the financial crisis, that getting a short sale done tended to be a little bit difficult. One reason is the banks were overwhelmed. I actually got to know a few of the people that I dealt with at the banks pretty well for short sales. And for example, there was one guy I got to know that was in Southern California, and I started asking him what he thought about his job, and he says, well, he says, there's 400 cubicles in this building, and everybody here has 100 files on their desk, and there's one person quitting a day. So, that did make it kind of difficult and sort of stressful to get your deals done. But anyway, going back to this transaction I had, this is a case where the people really, especially the wife, who was a junior college professor, had just dreamed of living in Hawaii all her life. And she couldn't believe that the transaction was actually going to close. And when it did close, she called me up just in tears and thanking me, and all of that kind of thing. And I've remained friends with them to this day. And that was probably, the transaction was probably 14 years ago, maybe. And kind of ironically, they called me this summer, and their plan was originally to buy this house and to rent it and then retire it. Well, they retired, but other things in life got in their way. And they called me up and wanted to sell it. And I talked to them for a long time, and I said, well, why do you want to sell it? And they had family things going on, and they wanted to buy another house closer to their kids because their kids needed help, and their grandkids and all that stuff. And so we had a long conversation. And I said, sure, I can sell your house, and it's probably worth triple what you paid for it, at least, right now, but why don't you sleep on it? And they called me, and they said, okay. And they called me back the next day and said, we've really been thinking hard about this, and I think we figured out a way that we can make it all work and keep the house. And I can't believe that I was speaking to you and giving you this opportunity, and you didn't just jump on it and list our property. And I said, well, that's really not what it's all about. I look at my role as being kind of a counselor or an advocate, and I knew them pretty well. And I just knew that if there's any way they could hold on to that, I think they would be happier. And so that's what ended up happening. So really, I've had a couple of really good experiences with those people. And like I say, it had really nothing to do with, the size of the transaction. And another example I want to give you is just, a month and a half ago, I met a person who wanted to, he's a big time commercial real estate guy in Seattle. And he wanted to buy a place in Kolea here where I live in the Waikoloa Beach Resort. And so I'd given him a lot of information and we sort of became friends. And he called me up on this one unit that's on the market right now and said, well, what do you think of it? And I had sold it previously to the people who were selling it now, and I told him what I thought of it. And he was going on and on and on, well, he could do this and do that. And I finally said, the guy has quite a bit of financial resources. And I said, I got to tell you that I know you well enough that we can do this deal, but you won't be happy with it. You may be happy with it for a year or two, but you've got a 10 or 15 year horizon here, and what you need to do is wait until something that's more suitable for you comes on the market. So I just thought I'd tell a couple stories here because I really treasure a lot of the friendships I've made since I got into real estate. And with all of the negative publicity surrounding the National Association of Realtors and commissions and all that kind of stuff, choosing a real estate agent or working with a real estate agent is really, it's really like anything else. In the end, you get what you pay for. And I really resent some of the articles that I read about these lawsuits against the National Association of Realtors. Because that they conspire to drive up commissions and blah blah blah. Well, that's not the way it is. And one of their main missions actually is to enforce the code of ethics, and I take that very seriously. And really, it's in a nutshell, it's just like I try and live the rest of my life. Do unto others what you would have them do to you. And so there's definitely a place for that organization, and unfortunately, I don't think they deserve some of the bad rap they're getting right now in the press. So that's it for today. Got a couple things off my chest. I will talk to you later. Bye.